thus early, I learned that the point from which a thing is viewed is of some importance.
We're here today to discuss my film Lessons of the Hour. This is a film which is a 10-screen work. I made the work as a kind of homage to Frederick Douglass, his legacy in his free speeches, Lessons of the Hour, What to Slave is 4th of July, and his lecture on pictures. It's a work which tries to give this symphonic representation of Douglass's life.
De guerre, by that simple and all-abounding sunlight.
We're used to seeing a static Frederick Douglass, you know. We're used to seeing statues, we're used to seeing portraits, we're used to seeing photographs. I'm such a student of Frederick Douglass. You know, when you have your own secret historical crush, you think no one else is really interested in them. And to see Frederick Douglass moving and changing expression and having a chance to kind of watch him be fully human was kind of a really surreal experience. How are you hoping to kind of affect the watcher in terms of thinking about Douglass through this embodiment?
I also too start from the pictorial. One of the things in relationship to making films, and of course working with actors, is that they demand a certain response in terms of what did he think, what was he doing?
We have all this information about Douglass and all these images, not by accident. He was quite intentional in wanting to be photographed.
But of course, because Douglass is so amazingly documented as the most photographed person of the 19th century of this time, more so than, Abraham Lincoln, Douglass wanted to, in a way, kind of appropriate photography and the new technology as a way of giving autonomy to the South and to the black subject, to create this sort of image against the kind of pathologized regime of representations, stereotypes and caricatures of that time.
What Douglass had to have been doing to be the kind of influential and powerful orator that he was. You almost can't absorb how a man who had begun in slavery and was speaking to these 19th century audiences could pull all of this together at the same time. Douglass almost speaks to the importance of putting the images with the words, right? To be fully remembered, that the words, certainly for particularly marginalized people, are not enough because there's always a story, an image that is attached to you.
So in the 4th of July speech, I think, it's a real radical kind of proclamation of really turning the tables in terms of Douglass's moral authority. He's really thinking about black citizenship and the way in which that can become part of a way of thinking and questioning America.
There is not a nation on earth guilty of practices more shocking and bloody than are the people in these United States in this very hour.
That's why having the Freddie Gray riots in Baltimore, which took place a few streets away from where Douglass lived, becomes very pertinent in terms of thinking about how these questions resonate today.
What to the Slave is the 4th of July is a way of essentially calling America to account in the way that you have the right to do when you are part of the body politic, to critique the infrastructure that is around you and that identifies you as a citizen.
We're still in this period, really, of the unfinished dialogues, the unfinished business of democracy.